pastored for 30 years, but the last 2.5 years here in the UK, and I was just asked about loving South Africa and loving England. I love both. Miss South Africa, but I love England, love South Africa in proxy. And it's lovely to be here in the missionaries.
Thank you so much for joining us. So we've got 3 questions for you today. And the first one is, we want to know a bit about your relationship, how you met, and how long you've been together.
Well, we've been together for, it's called 50 years. We just celebrated, in the middle of last month, we celebrated our 47th wedding anniversary. And yeah, so you can say how many.
Well, we've known each other for about 50 years. We are the typical boy down the road. That was good. So he was to live down the street from me. My best friend, your brother, was easy to his friend. So that kind of stuff.
And my best friend brought her to my sister's wedding, and I said, why haven't I done this to her? But if I may just say, I think a more important question is, how did I know that she was the right one for me? I think a very simple answer to that is, I just got to the place in our relationship where I knew that she was my friend, my best friend. I didn't have to hide things from her. I could be open with her. I could be myself. I didn't have to form and pretend I was somebody else or something else. I could just be me. And she accepted me for who I was and who I am.
I also want to say God is very, very gracious. When we met, we were not believers. And I was a church, I come from a church-going family. He comes from a family where never went to church, they were atheists. So when I met Peter, he started going to church. And he invited me to come home. And we went to an evangelical church, and we heard the gospel for the first time. And so we walked a journey of faith in our lives. So we were believers when we got married, and we were believers when we got engaged. And so God was really very, very gracious to us. It was His grace, because if I think about it, I mean, it could have gone either way, I think we might say so.
The second question is, as you said, you two were believers when you got married, so we know that Jesus has a special place in your marriage. Would you be able to tell us how does having a shared Christian faith helped you build a good foundation for your marriage and a strong relationship?
Well, let me say, so you can be more specific. The Bible says we are to love the Lord our God with all our heart and mind and soul and strength, to love our neighbour as ourselves. And if you think about that, that's really speaking about 3-way kinds of relationships. First of all, you've got to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. So you've got to have a right relationship with God. If you have a right relationship with God, that then enables you to have a right relationship with those around about you, your neighbour and others, your spouse, and so on. But so often people forget the finishing part of that. It says love your neighbour as yourself. Only when you're in a right